Welcome to the Tarp Report with Sam and Jes. Hello.
Hi. He said,
Welcome to the emergency edition of the Tarp Report.
hurry up.
Yeah. There's poor planning on my part. Are you okay? What happened to you?
Hold on.
Oh my
In the past 10 seconds,
Everything's falling apart.
Okay.
There you go.
I thought you were going to hit record and go poop.
Now I'll kick it for a little bit. I'll
hang out for a little
I'll
bit.
let the baby digest a little bit.
There you go.
The amount of,
It seems like we don't do it that much because we know it bothers you.
What, poop?
are you kidding me?
Doo-doo talk.
Okay.
So you wake up in the morning and you don't have to take a shit first?
No.
What the fuck?
No.
It used to happen when I was little, but now I wake up, I have to go straight doo-doo.
Really?
Straight.
I don't know morning. But I will, like I said, what happened this morning, right?
Yes, please enlighten us.
So this morning,
Tell us about your
I went to the
bowels.
coffee spot, and they gave me just lukewarm coffee. And the thing is like I was like bummed out because I was like, man, I like hot coffee. It turns out that hot coffee is a better deal for my body because I don't just like slam it. Like I'll sip it over the course of like 2 hours.
Right.
But literally I drink a 24 ounce like black coffee
Just to the head.
in like probably 10 minutes.
Oh, it's so gross.
That's terrible.
Yeah,
I'm like
yeah.
that. I'm like that with Red Bull.
Yeah. And then I was sitting out in the parking lot live streaming with you and it happened. And I felt
The grumbling.
the churning.
With the crowning.
No, not crowning.
The creating.
Yeah. Also, a shit like this doesn't really crown. There's nothing to crown. It's not like that.
It's more like I don't know.
Yeah. It's fine. And we don't have to, you know what? You don't need to know. You don't need to know.
Yeah.
We don't need to talk about it anymore. We don't need to
Moving.
describe it. We don't need to talk about what it smelled like anymore. Or,
Moving on. Nobody even talked about what it smelled like.
well, you did say that
It
what
actually
happened
smelled
in
great.
there.
I don't know how I did it. It was like CK1. It was weird. I don't know how I did that. Wait, you don't like CK1?
I was like, is that Nautica? What is that?
Dude, I know CK1 was
CK1.
hot in West Virginia when you were coming up.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
of course. We weren't really like a perfume kind of.
It didn't. Everybody was on. See, Trey, how old are you?
23.
See, you
24. I just turned 24.
You do not know about CK1.
Nah.
And I have never seen a fragrance fad like that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the only perfume that I ever had was just whatever was in the magazine. And
Oh, would you rub the strips on
then
yourself?
you like, and
yeah,
then
let's
would
go.
take, and then
The best
that would
things
be like-
ever are like there's testing bags. It comes with like 30. And like I gave one to my dad. It has like Louis Vuitton and like YSL. And like it's a good gift. Like
Lysol?
no, Louis Vuitton.
And you said Louis Vuitton and then what?
Lysol.
Jimmy Choo.
Oh, I thought you said Lysol. Yeah. That's a very nice fragrance though, too.
Lysol. Yeah.
Yeah, just
You smell clean.
yeah, lemon fresh.
Yeah.
One time I accidentally wiped my kid's butt with a Lysol wipe because I got it confused with a diaper wipe. And I got it off there quick because it wouldn't have hurt him that bad,
Right.
but it would have
You would have had a brown booty hole.
he would have had a brown booty hole.
What did you clean it off with?
A regular wipe, the one I was
Another
supposed to be
Lysol wipe.
using. Yeah, another
Oh, no.
Lysol wipe. It doubled
I
down.
need to get this off.
I felt like a maniac. So
That's great.
yeah.
I don't know why, but that just reminded me. Like last night, I hosted at Tacoma Comedy Club.
That's because we were talking about hosting poop wipes. Yeah.
It was so bad. It
What
was,
happened?
well, there was no one there, and I mean, it was. I've never. Everyone bombed. Everyone, except Robert Cashmore.
Oh, nice. There you go, Robert. Get
course.
in there.
But there was only like 6 people.
Oh, man.
4 of them were comics.
Was it at the Proctor location?
No, it was the old one. So I
the old
I
school?
think that I don't know. It's like
You heard that too?
I heard that too.
Hey man,
Did you guys hear that?
Heard no, because I was talking.
I'm gonna go check.
Yeah, somebody was like, "Hey, man." Yeah, go figure that out, Trey. That was weird.
You want the smallest person to go figure it out?
He's the toughest, though.
He said I have a gun.
Yeah. Let's go, Tarp Report. I love that
That's
shit.
dangerous.
Yeah,
You
sure
run
is.
Trey with a gun.
Hey, we're on Hosmer, man. You know, this
be
is a wonderful
safe
part.
out
I
there.
love Tacoma, and I think this community, even Hosmer, has like a lot to offer, and there's really wonderful things going on here. But it is like, it's serious out there.
What do you mean? What is he doing? Is he?
He's yelling in the comedy club to make sure nobody broke in.
You think someone's gonna be like,
What
"Oh,
I
it was
mean-
me. I broke in."
What I think is that there's certain communities where people are like, oh man, that's like a shitty part of town or whatever.
Yeah.
I would say that Hosmer and this part of Tacoma, like it is pretty rough around the edges, like for sure. And there's a lot of like visible like street like homelessness and stuff like that around here. But also like there's like a lot of rad things that are going on.
Yeah.
Like here right now, including Nate Jackson's Super Funny Comedy Club.
Word on the street is, well, I don't know for sure, but we at the bar we got this big mural done. Like that's like we have
I know I saw it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's super cool. And I think that Nate was talking to him about getting something done here. And
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and like putting it out.
I've been wondering why he hadn't done that already.
Yeah.
To be honest.
But he was like, it needs to be fucking enormous.
These places, there's like sign ordinances and stuff that are like pretty complicated and pretty. You're depending on like the size of the building and where it's at and like even what direction it's facing. It's weird to where you can put
Yeah.
murals and things like that. But yeah, I don't know. I think the sign, the one on the building can be hard to read when you're on the freeway.
The one on if the one on the street was just fixed,
Yeah.
I think that would bring in like an extra like 20 people a week.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah. I think
Because like,
that's
I
a
literally
pretty
drive by every single day. I'm like, what is Super Cafe?
Wait, where's that?
Yeah.
And then you
Where's
just
it?
run
No,
into the
where's
car
it?
in front of you.
No, but seriously, where does it? I don't know where it
Like,
says that.
damn it. I should stop reading signs and pay attention to the road, Trey.
Something like that.
Yeah, I've done that shit. I was looking at an eagle one time and I almost crashed into the guy in front of me.
Yeah.
I would have died a patriot. That was a joke I used to have.
Look at that.
That's a good joke.
That's a good joke.
Yeah.
You told us that story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
About the eagle eating roadkill too. Did I tell you that part?
No, but you said that you were like that you almost wrecked.
Yeah, watching
Watching
an
the
eagle.
eagle.
Yeah. See, I can't remember what I talked about on the podcast. I can't remember what I talked about anywhere.
Yeah.
But anyway, you were talking about the open mic at Tacoma Comedy Club, and I was listening, but me and Trey heard a ghost.
Yeah. What happened? Was there someone down there? Did he answer you?
Hopefully not. No.
I'm surprised because I'm sure if somebody broke in, they would definitely respond.
Yeah.
Whenever I was doing a crime, if somebody was like, hey, criminal, I'd be like, what?
Yeah, right here.
How's it going?
No, nobody's in here. The door was locked. Nobody could.
Yeah, I closed it.
Yeah.
I think
Right.
I closed it. But yeah, no, it was just it was rough. It was rough. But it was fun though, because it was just like, it was just like the few friends.
It's kind of wild, like having two comedy clubs in the same city,
Well, and it's definitely
but owned by the same people.
it definitely like it's like I like going to the new one. Like this was the first time I've been to the old one in a couple months. Like because the other one is just easier to get to, and like it's it's cuter, it's new. But yeah, and so people have just been going there. But it's like foot traffic wise, like it does better. Like it gets a lot of
for
people.
sure.
Like there's like
Seattle
there are
just
people
seems
there
like that. I went to Seattle for the first time yesterday. It was
for the first time.
because like
Well, this is Tacoma, but yeah, Seattle.
yeah. I went to Seattle.
Yeah, no, I mean we were talking about Tacoma Comedy Club.
Oh,
Yeah,
I thought you
go
were
ahead.
talking about because the new one was all So the new Tacoma Comedy Clubs
In Tacoma.
Oh, they
just have 2 clubs right now. They have the one
I did
downtown,
not know that.
and then they have the one on what is it, Sixth and Proctor. Yeah,
I did not know that.
Yeah. But what were you saying about Seattle?
It was cool. Like my uncle, like, I don't know. It was cool. We went to a car show. Because I had been like, I don't know, mentally I've been just like going through like a rough part. And then my uncle was like, just come to the car show with me. And I was like, all right. So it was cool.
you were talking about that. You've just been kind of like had a vibe lately.
Yeah.
It was just off.
Going through it.
Yeah. Haven't gone through it yet, but.
You think, you know, what, I don't know how much you're comfortable talking about, like on the podcast, but like, is it like how serious is this? Like, kind of like, do you want to talk about what's going on, or you want?
I think, I don't know. I think serious, I don't know. I don't know what serious spectrum is, because like a 4-year-old's cat can die and he can be just as sad as an 18-year-old's
Right, but
wife who just died in a car accident. So everyone's low is their lowest. So
right, but we're talking about you.
I know, but I don't know. I'll just take it to the chin.
That's a rough way to go about it. Who are you talking to about it? Do you got people that you can like unload on, or like what?
No, not really.
That's not, well, fuck y'all. Well, rude. That's so rude.
Well, no, like I'll talk to people if I can.
I'm sitting
but
right here.
When I like, I don't know, when I do talk about things that are on my mind, it always happens like a couple days later. People be like, I don't know, like, oh, I heard about this or I heard about that. It's like, what the heck? Like, why did you hear about that, or why? I don't know.
No, you were going through it this week, and you called me.
Yeah.
He called me this weekend, and we talked.
That's good.
I mean, a big was,
Good. Dude, Dre, it's honestly,
I don't know why, but like, I don't know. I call you a lot.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's good.
Yeah.
When I was 23, it was probably the most tumultuous time of my life. There was more changes going on because people don't become adults when they're 18. Like, it's ridiculous to think that. I actually heard them.
Do people really think that though?
No, but
nobody thinks that.
I don't know. Well, the government says that legally you're an adult at 18. But I think that has more to do with war than anything. Right. But I actually heard the number 25 is when people are like, when we definitely like shift over into like this realm of like responsibility. And 25 is actually, coincidentally, that's like when I got sober too, was when I was 25.
Yeah.
You know,
when you got some sense.
Sorta. I honestly, you know what's weird about this shit, man? Is it there was never a time when I got sober where I was like, there was never like, I didn't have a plan. Like, if you would have asked me a week before I got sober what I thought my future was like, recovery like wasn't a part of that plan. You know what I mean? Damn. It's like the shit just kind of like, I still don't understand
what is recovery. Because like for me, like I don't talk about it on the podcast, but I went cold turkey, so like I don't know what recovery means. You know what I mean? Like, does that mean like you're going to a facility, or you're at home just, you know, detoxing by yourself?
This time I detoxed by myself at my mom's house in Lacey. Okay. So the morning of June 10th, 2008, I woke up under a tarp in downtown Olympia, and found myself homeless again, and realized that like my mom had made it very clear that I couldn't come to her house if I was using drugs, and that's the only place I had to go. And so I had to make a decision whether I was gonna like. Basically, I woke up and for the first time in my life, like I didn't want to get high, but I didn't want to get sober either. So like, I had a choice. I was either going to kill myself, or I was gonna figure out how to do this. And so like, I walked to my mom's house. I cried the whole way. It was crazy, man. Just like years and years of like pressure. Like I used to feel like I could feel it like under my skin. I can even feel it now. It's like this, like I hated who I was. I hated how I talked. I hated how I felt. I hated like everything about me. But I could like I could mask that with drugs basically. And like, and then I had a choice to make. I was either going to kill myself or I was going to get help. So I walked to my mom's house, like hat in hand, like, and I remember this is the craziest part. And I don't, cause I tell this as a joke, basically. I mean, not all the way a joke, but you've heard me do it before. But like basically what the thing I don't talk about in the joke is like, when I knocked on my mom's door and I told her, I was like, Mom, like, I don't want to be this crazy drug addict. I don't want to do it anymore. And she was like, well, you can stay here for a couple weeks, you know, if you're really serious. But the thing is that I knew it. I knew she didn't believe me. And she had no reason to believe me. But I knew that it was different. You know, I knew in that moment it was different. And then I think it was like 3 or 4 days of like weird like sleep hallucination things, like just
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
and then I went and got help, man. Then I started like I sought out I can't talk about it directly on the podcast, but I sought out like I hold the line, you know.
Oh, you're so funny. I
know
can't
I
talk
am.
about it on the podcast.
Yeah.
But
I sought out like a self-help like community, like where there was other people that had a similar history to mine. And I've been doing that ever since, you know. And I love it. I wouldn't trade it for the world. I love being sober. I love recovery. So
I went to rehab. If you guys are wondering how I...
what was your last?
Oh, thank
what
you for
was it
asking.
like at the end?
It was the same thing. I remember, I was going to die here on this floor in my living room, or I'm going to get sober. I was just drunk and had finally just decided that it wasn't really working anymore.
You're gonna die on the floor?
Well, I mean, I was going to fucking kill myself.
Yeah.
Because, but so much of my life revolved around drinking. Like, it was so ingrained within every habit that I had, like walking, like driving, like everything. Like, I drank when I did everything. So, like, I had to have I call it an adult timeout, and went to rehab for 36 days.
Was it a 45-day program or was it a 28-day program?
Oh, it was, I have no idea. Like, I just went in,
Because usually
like, I
they're
didn't
like,
go in. Like,
they're like 28 days and see, it might be different because where were you? What state were you in?
I was here.
You were here? Okay, because like a lot of times in Washington, they have like 20, if I remember right, they have like 28-day programs and 45-day programs. So it's funny because when you said you were there for 36 days, I'm like, did she leave early or did she have to stay late?
No, neither. I mean, I was there on my own, like,
Yeah.
but yeah, I stayed for I think it was a 30-day program.
Yeah.
But half of that was the first week or so was just detoxing and getting sober. But like, I couldn't, I couldn't do regular life without without having, like, stepping away and like literally resetting everything.
Yeah. My thing, man, is that any substance, anything I put in my body, and this goes for food and this goes for like, even like media, like things that like,
consumables,
anything I'm consuming, whether it's like on my phone or a substance or even food, you got to ask yourself, like, is this taking away more than it's giving me in the short term and in the long term? And then if it is taking away more, then asking ourselves that question, like, are we willing to, can we stop? Do we want to stop? And if we're having a hard time stopping, are we willing to ask for help? And then, I mean, those are 3 like really clear questions. And then also when folks do, like I don't think I've ever seen somebody outthink addiction.
No, it's impossible. I mean, it's not. You don't survive active addiction.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I used to have an ex like that. He was fucking genius. Like, just the smartest person. Like, yeah, book smart.
His name was Tre.
Yeah. Oh, sweetie. But like he could tell you every component of every pill that ever existed. Like he could break down, every drug and like knew everything about it. And in his mind, because he knew how it worked, like, and he could use them. So like it just, he's like, yeah, well, I know this. And so, he used, that was his, like an excuse. He thought he was smarter.
Yeah.
He thought he was smarter than his addiction.
Yeah.
And really you're just a heroin addict, with like a really pretty vocabulary.
Yeah. Whatever it is that we're addicted to, it's funny how like whatever other parts of our personality that we have going on, like it'll fold into that. Like it'll people, and it's not just drugs, like we all find ways to justify all kinds of unhealthy stuff, like in a lot of terms, like with me, it's because I tend to really think in the short term, like we had issues scheduling this podcast. And part of it was because I get text messages. Like once we said that we're on for Tuesday, I'm like, okay, I don't need to worry about that anymore. Mm-hmm. And I didn't realize that you guys are like actively.
Same. Yeah. I was like,
well, and okay,
wow.
So
it was confusing though. It was confusing.
I'm not trying to change the topic. I'm just saying that no. Well, I apologize.
I want to talk. Yeah, because I want to talk about it. Because like, you sent a text saying Tuesday at 9 at like 9:45 p.m. And then we were like, yeah, for sure. And then at like 10:30, I realized, oh shit, I have a dentist appointment at Tuesday at 10, so that won't work. Mm-hmm. So I said, I have a dentist appointment at 10 on Wednesday, or can we do it Wednesday? ? And
nothing.
Yeah. And then I sent a picture of you guys showing how we're doing in the charts and saying,
and I saw that picture and it made me happy.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
And showing that Canada loves us.
Yeah.
But it's like, and then, it was very hard to try and figure out like when we could schedule, and, it ended up being fine, but like, yeah, you were very like,
absent.
Yeah. And, it felt like you were frustrated with me. And I'm like, no, I used this, like literally I told you within the hour.
No. I will, first off, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And I'll try to do better communicating.
Yeah.
Second off, what was going on was that San Diego trip, which was when this messaging was going on. I left on Wednesday.
Yeah.
It was bananas and like good, bad, and like everything in between.
Yeah.
There was like some really heavy stuff that happened that I talked to you about that I can't talk about publicly on the podcast right now because it's not my story to tell.
Right.
And there was some like amazing career stuff. I got to work with Andy Gold.
Yeah.
And I got to meet Andy Gold, who's someone I've been trying to work with for a while.
Nice. That's exciting.
Yeah, because he's one of the other like top like comedians in recovery. Like there's a lot of comedians that are sober and there's a lot of comedians that are in recovery. But there's not that many that are like really good and also like have a lot of recovery focused material. So like I've been doing, occasionally I work for recoverycomedy.com. I work for a guy named Curtis Matthews, who's one half of him, and Mark Lundholm are like the grandfathers of like, of this deal and, of recovery, the niche that is recovery comedy. So I was out there working for him. He pays me well, and he put me up in a nice hotel.
Love that.
Yeah, I went and had a really nice dinner with him, but there was also like some heavy stuff with some friends of mine that like, and it's strange for me because what I feel like winds up happening is like, if I get like good news and bad news, I'm not like, I don't think about the good thing and think about the bad thing.
Right.
It's just all like, it just becomes like an atmosphere that I'm like living in.
Yeah.
And this isn't an excuse because I could easily do better, especially when it's you and Tre. But like my mind is just, I'm just not present. I'm not like,
I mean, when I talk to you, I can hear, there's it's in your voice.
Yeah.
Like you sit, like, I'm like, oh, he's going through it. And it just so happens like, that it feels like we kind of get like, and I know you're going through like figuring all of this out and like trying to do everything.
Yeah.
It feels like we kind of get the brunt of it. And, so I'm just like, I just hope that, because I think we talked about it last time, like it's like all or nothing and then controlling what you can control. And I think that you can, like everything else is like, it's a producer or a booker or somebody else is, putting you up or saying where you can and cannot go. But like this, you can say, I'm not going to do it. I am going to do it. It's something that like you have a say in and like it is a definitive. And
I think another thing that we're going to do, I think is, it won't take us that long, but as best as we can before we leave here after we record is just to all kind of settle on the next place to record.
Yeah.
And it's funny. Oh, it's so stupid because I really could have done it Monday easily. Like I was going to the river, and then when we
record like mobily, like with us, or what do you mean?
Just
or
recording in general.
check this out. So the Tuesday time that I thought we were gonna do, but we didn't do, because and it's my fault. We also had to reschedule a dental appointment, so because I was podcasting at that time. So like basically like it was sweet. So
even worse, I missed my dentist appointment.
When did you miss your dentist?
Tuesday.
Oh my God. I would like to just say right now to anybody who's listening that you should comment in the comments about what you've failed recently at, 'cause I think me and Jess are making our failures abundantly clear.
Whoopsie. It was a mess, but
and we could talk about this part too. So I'm at a point maybe like 2 weeks ago when I called you on the phone and we had a conversation about like about the future of the podcast and like where I was at. And it was mostly like I wanted to see gauge where you were at with it. And then I was going to make my decision based on that.
Right.
Because if you were at a point where you were like where you were on the fence, I would have said, hey, we had a good run.
Right.
But the fact that you're engaged means that I'm engaged. And then after I hung up the phone, I immediately felt like a piece of shit because I feel like I put that on you. And you already have enough that's on you. Like it shouldn't be up to you to make the decision, oh, Jesus, my kids are calling me. This is going to be interesting. I have to do this. Yeah.
I wonder if you can put them on Bluetooth.
I got it. Hello?
Did you leave us?
Did I leave you?
We're still at the house.
Yeah, I have to podcast, dude. I told you that.
Oh.
Yeah, and then I'm going to come back and pick you up, and then we're going to leave. Hey, you're live on the podcast. Do you want to say anything?
My dad is weird.
All right. Thank you, Oliver. I love you. I'll see you when I get there.
I kind of felt like if a boyfriend was like, do you still want to stay in a relationship with me? I mean, I guess if you still want to date, we'll date, but like, I'm not really into it. And I'm like, oh, well, I don't want to do it if you don't want to do it. But I'm like, I do love doing it. Yeah. Like, but,
And generally, I love doing it too.
Yeah.
Like, but.
Except when it's hard.
But dating or drugs?
What the fuck?
Podcasting! God damn it, Trey!
You can't go take a 30-minute dump and then come back and try and be a part of the podcast. You have to at least wait a second and figure out what the fuck we're talking about.
Oh my God. Okay, I gotta put my headphones back.
The podcast. We're talking about the podcast.
That was my favorite thing. That
Drunk. We were
I want to do a
Just-
Trey top 10, and
Compilation.
somewhere on there is like last week and the other time where you said that Zumba,
Yeah.
the what is it?
CrossFit is the one.
CrossFit is like really hard Zumba. Ooh, I love that one. And then what you just did there, where you were like,
I mean, it's just
are we
genius.
talking jokes?
It's really genius.
I like it.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're not even fucking with you, dude. We
The
fucking I like it.
one-liners. The one-liners.
Just
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So what's cool is that I have been trying to push the podcast more.
Yeah.
I do feel reinvigorated. Despite the scheduling conflict, I thought we handled that well. Like
Yeah.
I'm trying to admit my faults and I'm trying to like move on and get better. Like this is what's wild is it this is the most that I collaborate with anybody.
Yeah.
Because I avoid collaboration because it's hard for me to both accept the actions of other people. I have a hard time predicting the actions of other people. I tend to project my feelings onto them, which is essentially what happened. When I called you, I was like, man, like this is hard. I'm super busy. It's going to be hard to record. And I'm like, and I felt that you might feel the same way. And what's funny is that my motivation in doing that was that I felt that maybe you wanted an out.
Yeah.
You know, but like the way that that's going to play out isn't fair to you, you know, and it's not fair to me either to kind of like to play this game where I think that, because deep down, like it's still like, I still deal with this like self-esteem stuff is what it is. You know, I'm like, oh, like she's probably not having a good time on the podcast anymore, you know?
Yeah.
Because I felt weird too, because like the whole the Salem trip was just weird. Like
it kind of hurts my heart that you think that.
Yeah.
And I think that I think that the reason that you feel that is because you think that I think that.
The reason I thought it was weird is because I was really like looking forward to us like co-hosting shows.
Yeah.
And that didn't happen.
Right.
Like you were at a different venue.
Yeah.
And so maybe I said that wrong. Let me restate that. I was bummed out because that's what I should have said. And that's what I mean. Is that I was bummed out because I wanted to do more stuff with you in Salem and to like actually work together.
Right.
Like that's like we do this podcast where we're like working together and we drive together. But like, we don't do a lot of stuff on stage together.
Yeah, I was looking forward to that.
Yeah.
But you know, it was.
God, it would have been so much. It was hosting those shows. It's a lot.
I hate hosting in general, like always.
I can't imagine.
Like so, but I still like Salem was still like I still had fun in Salem.
Okay, good.
I had a good time. I think it's, you know. The gritty, grimy, ridiculous part of comedy is like, you know, those are the stories.
Yeah.
Like those are what
I do feel the one thing I do feel guilty about is going there a day early.
oh my gosh. Yeah.
Yeah.
And like the whole thing was like that we're
Still the
camping.
communication thing.
That we're
Because Jess was like, I think it actually starts on Friday. And I was like, nope, Thursday.
Yeah.
And then Jess was right.
Yeah, we got there a day early. And like the whole thing.
Trey is just slowly shaking his head. He's like, this guy.
The whole thing is like you're camping in the backyard and like everyone's there and it's like really fun. Except on Thursday there was nobody else was there, so it was just me in Ty's backyard.
Gosh.
Yeah. And I was inside in the AC.
It was just me and Ty.
But we did a thing. This is what I love is it Jess knows how to operate. So like the minute I took off to do whatever, like she just took over like my room.
Yeah, we literally just like
and then I
we
realized
were rotating out of
I realized that
AC.
she was into that. So I made it clear the next day because I felt bad, because she was out in the yard. I was like, all right, Jess, I'm gone. It's your room now.
And then I slept for most of the day. It was
Yeah,
fabulous.
you did. And that's another thing. Maybe that's another reason why I was like, oh, like she's not having fun. But then I forget that Jess likes to sleep all day.
My fucking favorite thing to do is sleep. Like,
she was vibing on it.
Yeah, I literally, you just said that, like, I went inside and I was like, oh, that bed was so comfortable. Do you
really
remember
nice.
that blanket? Oh my
I
gosh,
know,
it
it had
was
a big,
so
heavy-
comfortable.
A big heavy blanket.
And the AC was on and it was just like cold and it was wonderful.
Yeah, I'm about to go down there and see Ty.
Nice.
So I'm taking my kids on tour. By the way, you're the fucking best.
I know.
And even when I can't,
We'll
when we
figure it out.
fuck shit up, like I still love you. You're great. But anyway,
Taking your kids.
yeah, I'm taking my kids on tour with me. So,
That's a bad idea.
yep.
Yeah. You'll have fun.
No, I won't.
Oh,
It's crazy.
we took the kids to, Josh and I took the kids to Seattle to go to the Seahawks training camp.
Yeah,
for a
to
day.
Renton.
Yeah. And, Renton.
Yeah, there's a difference.
I forgot. Like, well, my kids always act like whenever we go to Seattle, it's like a whole thing.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
they're like, it's so far away. And
I know.
and so, but we went to training camp and like we were literally there like maybe 45 minutes before the kids were like,
yeah. You're like, oh, we're just watching a practice.
literally Abby leaned over and she was like, so is this what like, this must be where like the poor people go because they can't afford to go to a game. And I was like, well, first of all, we're here.
Yeah.
But second of all, I was like, kiddo, this is kind of like a, a nice experience. And then Izzy came over and she was like, so which ones are the Seahawks?
Oh my God. That's awesome.
So we ended up leaving. But
I did the training camp thing when I was working. So it was actually a really cool deal because I was working at the homeless shelter in Tacoma. And a guy we were working with wound up getting us like 10 free tickets or whatever to go watch the training camp. And so we took a bunch of kids from the shelter out there. Not kids, they're like 18 to 25, but still young people. Mm-hmm. And it was the funniest thing in the world because like they were like, some of them were kind of into it and it was kind of a neat experience or whatever, but they had a station where you could get like free tests of like the sports drink.
Oh.
And so they were like lining up these, like, they'd have like 10 samples like on the table. Mm-hmm. And the dudes from the shelter, I thought it was so funny. They would go over there and they'd take like all of them, like shots down the line. And then they would wait for the guy to refill it. And then they'd do it again. And I was like, part of me was like, man, like this probably isn't a good look. These youth at the shelter are kind of acting wild. But the other part of me thought it was so funny. I'm like, that's what you get, you fuckers.
You fuckers. You deserve it.
Yeah, like it don't matter, man. There were some kids wild. I went to Walmart the other day, and there were some kids that were on the scooters, and they were just being crazy and shit. And like, part of me, like, there's like old me, like new responsible me, like older me, that's like, that behavior's unacceptable. But the other part of me was like, man, I hope they fuck shit up because that's funny.
We should do like a mud race or something, like a Tough Mudder.
Is that
you know what I mean?
like a Virginia thing or
Virginia? First of all, I'm not from Virginia.
She's from West Virginia, not regular Virginia.
West Virginia.
There's two. They separated during the Civil War. Like there's South Carolina, North Carolina. There's West Virginia.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah,
I think it may have. Yep, like one of the original.
That happened.
A while ago. I think it was a while ago, wasn't it?
Oh, I would hope so.
Yeah, the
Yes,
states
there's
haven't
a
split up
West
in a while.
Virginia.
They don't. I mean, it don't matter.
you know,
Okay.
these things. Well, what?
He's right though. I went through West Virginia and Virginia, and when I crossed the line, like I couldn't tell. So no offense.
You
to
can.
West
The
Virginia.
cops are different.
Yeah. Especially those ones in West Virginia. Holy moly.
No, I've only ever gotten a ticket in Virginia.
Oh, I was talking about the West Virginia thing.
Oh,
with,
the
like,
ones
the
that,
state
the
police.
ones that were getting in trouble.
Yikes. There's a bunch of cops. It's like a pedophile ring. A bunch of cops in West Virginia. It's crazy. So,
Yeah.
what are you going to do?
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm taking the kids on tour.
That's exciting.
It's cool. I'm excited. As you could tell from Oliver's phone call.
He's excited. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're
He's
waiting.
like, did you leave us?
Yeah. Did you abandon us?
Yeah. But yeah, I'm excited.
It'll be fun. Yeah. When are you coming back? And then, okay. Yeah.
We'll figure it out right
record.
after
It'll
that.
be fine.
I want to say we don't say this enough, I think, is that folks that are listening to the podcast, we love you, and that's awesome. And I know that there are a lot of we do have fans.
We do. We genuinely do. And like people really, people enjoy it. And like, we're doing well. Like, we're doing well in like other countries, and like it's just, it's fun to watch and just see. And I think it's worth. I think that it's worth the trouble, and I think that it's worth just like seeing what
happens. Next. Yeah.
And just like, because it has been hard, but like all of this has been fucking hard.
No, I feel the same way. Yeah. So, but you know what? I gotta go.
Okay.
I gotta go.
All
Jess
right.
probably has to go.
Yeah.
Trey, you woke up extra early. Thank you, Trey, for coming in early today.
Trey, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you for pushing through those.
You were
pains.
late to being early.
Yeah, maybe we should do 8:30. No. Maybe we should do 8:30 because it's going to be 9. You're not going to be here at 8:30. If we do 9, you're here at 9:30.
I'm gonna be at 9.
9 is early enough. He's pretty firm on that. He should be too. We got to stop pushing boundaries.
I love Trey.
I'll be up late, so
I know you're so funny.
Yeah. And all right. Well, I think that's it.
Keep it real.